Hey, what's going on, Team Trek Podcast? Welcome back to another episode. In the studio today, I've got an awesome friend stopping by. Her name is Dani. We're going to get into some really interesting stuff on this one. So without further ado, Dani, welcome to Team Trek Podcast.
Hello.
So happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so on Team Trek, we deal with a lot of mental health stuff, right? Mm-hmm. We talk a lot about our careers, the different stressors that we've gone through, those different traumas. And we try to bring the importance of like how we got through those things and then what we're doing today to really, just protect our mental health and make sure that we're staying engaged with what we should be. We hear a lot about mind, body, spirit, right? And I think that's confusing to us, right? A lot of us military guys, we're all about the body, right? We've been we've been working out our bodies since the beginning of our careers. But as far as the mental stuff and that spiritual realm, I think we get a little bit confused in how those aspects work. So I was hoping we can kind of get into those other realms a little bit. The physical fitness stuff, we're all over. But how do we condition ourselves internally? And I really think that's where you come in, right? So if you don't mind, let's kind of get into your background and then we'll kind of go full circle on that conditioning of that spiritual self and spiritual self really, right? So Dani, welcome.
Hello.
So let's catch the audience up real quick. Where are you from? What's going on? Who are you? Who's Dani?
I think I'm still figuring that out. I think that is the journey of life. I'm originally from New York. I have a twin brother.
Paternal or identical?
He is fraternal, because if he were identical, he would be very girly, like me. Okay. Fraternal means that we have two different eggs. We were like roommates or womb-mates, so we're not a split off.
Okay.
But when you have two babies in a womb, one does sit on the other. So maybe I'm not fully developed, which is why I have spiritual gifts. So maybe my brain just works a little different because I was sat on.
Because you were sat on.
I was sat on in the womb. Oh gosh. I'm not really good at talking about myself, but I think it's good to say that because I think a lot of people aren't good about talking about themselves, which then also leads into people are not comfortable in talking about what they've been through, what they've seen, what they know. So I think in my search for meaning, in my search for myself, in different traumatic experiences and even non-traumatic experiences, it's just, I think we're all searching for some sort of meaning, because when we're going through really hard things, we better have meaning. Otherwise, we don't want to go through them. We don't want to endure them.
What's it for if we don't know the meaning to it?
Exactly. That's why people just literally give up. Suicide is a very sensitive topic for me because I see a heat of passion moment where people are just done. And I think the real truth is at any given moment in time, everyone's actually done. I'm not saying that everybody is suicidal, but everybody does at one point not want to be here anymore and want to quit. And we do need to honor that. So. Okay.
So maybe we're moving a little too far forward, but I mean, you kind of hit on it. What is the purpose of us being here?
Learning and growing.
It's all about learning
and growing. No matter what you're doing, you're learning and you're growing, or you're not. Or you're processing regret, which is also learning and growing. Or you're processing success, and so you're learning why you were successful. So honestly, both ends of the stick, the entire purpose of life is learning and growing and not being stuck in a specific thing. So.
Okay, so to learn and grow. Now, when we start talking numerology, right, a little bit more specific to each individual, right? So numerology is based on the time you entered the earth, right? Or how would you break down really just numerology and per person? Because it's specific to each person.
Yeah. So numerology is the study of numbers, and it goes anciently. You could look at Pythagoras. He was an ancient mathematician, and he had found different numbers have different meanings, have different energy, different frequencies, different things of information. The numerology is the study of the numbers of someone's birthday. It's also being able to convert the alphabet into alphanumeric codes. There's so much here. But I think the common ground for those that are new to this is if you were to go to the grocery store and you scan your things, there's a barcode on there. And the barcode has numbers. They just do. Computers have numbers, computers have barcodes, and they're all information. We understand that the letters of the alphabet, if you put enough letters together, it creates a word, a sentence, and a phrase. But sometimes we forget that numbers also have information as well. Even the temperature or a barometer of knowing how cold your refrigerator is information. So this is not so woo-woo as far as like a made-up language. It's being able to read numbers in a language the same way we read the alphabet. So here we go again to self-scanning your groceries or whatever, and you hear that beep, and that barcode goes across, and all of a sudden the product that you're buying is literally up on the screen, that you're buying, and then numbers are communicating how much, it costs. So it is another version of numbers. When it comes to your birthday, it's a really beautiful thing where whether I'm going to take a step back to say what I share is to answer the questions of numerology, but it's not my intention to get you to believe a damn word that I'm saying. I think this is just a safe space to ask questions so that you can question yourself and question your meaning of life and your purpose and find meaning in any way that you can find it that grounds you. Numerology for me has taught me a lot about myself and others. It has brought me a lot of healing and release and perspective. I come from a strong God belief background. And I always say, God has a plan, life has a purpose, life has meaning. And I feel like that I'm in common energy on this podcast. And I think when they say that God has a plan for you, it doesn't mean that you're not supposed to know what it is. And when we talk about trust the process, how much trust do you need if you have understanding? And so you can trust that truth is out there if you're able to find it. So circling back to numerology and the barcode and information, it's all about information that returns you back to God, your sense of value in the world, and that you matter and you have meaning, which is the whole thing that means so much to me. And I found it in a very low point in my life, and I think it was the timing of my life. And I started to study the language of numbers, and then I started to study it on other people because I'm extremely pragmatic. But the information just seemed to resonate and resonate and resonate. And so, I could go down the rabbit hole on that. So I'm not on a soapbox of numerology or astrology or Christianity or zodiacs. I think if you can feel peace and you can find God and you can find meaning and you can find purpose and you can find the ability to keep going, then I think we can find God in anything if our heart is walking in the light. And I think that's the intention. I think if you look at religion as a whole, some religions are literally designed to control and tell you what to think and what to believe. But I think a soul feels sincerity. I think a soul feels a good vibe. And I think you have to trust those little inklings that lead you to truth. People can open up a Bible at any time, and it's a bunch of letters and it's a verse. That's numerology too, because I were to tell you to, look up this verse on this verse, I've literally coded it for you to find it. And it's all information. Right. So you say, Dear God, give me a guiding word. and you open your magic book, I think if your intention is good, then I think you can find a guiding word in a quote or a podcast or a lyric on a song. And I think it's just another way to find peace and get your questions answered.
Wow. Okay. Very, very good answer. There's a lot to that.
I know. I'm sorry.
There's a lot.
I'm a rabbit hole, everyone.
So, numerology specifically, though,
Yes.
is our coding, right? We talked about our birth date, right? The day that we're born, the time, everything matters within that, right? And that's really our internal coding. So,
it's your barcode.
That barcode has information in it about our journey in life.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into that just a minute.
So it's like your specific plan.
Yes.
Every soul journey in this lifetime is to evolve and to grow, but with the hand that we're dealt with. If you were to ever play a card game and you pull the cards out and you hold your hand, it's a crap hand only if you don't understand what you have. And maybe your crap hand is literally to uncrap it.
Okay. So when we're figuring out, again, because you talked about purpose, right? In your opening, you talked about that importance of having purpose. And your purpose is encoded in you. So how do we scan that barcode so we can really understand our purpose? Because if we're all built very specific, like that item at the store, how do we tap into that?
Yeah.
And how do we start to really understand our purpose specifically?
That's a really good question. So if you want to understand the barcode, you have to understand what each number means.
Okay.
And there's a lot of different meanings to all of the different numbers. It's a language. So you have to first start learning language. I mean, obviously you can reach out to me and book a reading, but this is not a commercial. This is me hopefully empowering you just here. Just telling you. Only find me if you want to, because I only want genuine people with questions for me. Period. Anyways, so a birthday has numbers in it. So there are 12 months in a year. Let's make up a birthday. March 9th, 1942. I don't know who this is, but nice to meet you. Here we go. March 9th, 1942. So March is the 3rd. The 9th is 9. Everybody with me on this? And then 1942, 1942. Yay! So you go 391942. You add up all those numbers. Did you do it?
3 and 9 is 12. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then we add the 4 to that, so 16, and then 2, right?
27.
18. I'm behind you. Okay, so we're at 27.
We're at 27.
Okay.
So we get up to 27. When you get to the end, then you take 27 and you go 2 plus 7 is 9.
2 plus 7 equals 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to speak in metaphor because I don't know what else to say. A lot of people know The Wizard of Oz, or you've taken someone to see The Wizard of Oz, the movie. And everybody has this yellow brick road. Like, what is your intention? When you look at the movie Wizard of Oz, everybody is headed to the Wizard of Oz, and everybody's headed to their version of Emerald City for a specific reason. But they all have to do the work, and they have to follow the path, and they have to keep going. Cowardly Lion is looking for bravery. Dorothy wants to go home. You know how this goes. So I think it's to not only live life, but understand what would actually bring life and meaning to you. Because everybody's on this journey together. They're arm in arm. They're supporting each other. We have these support groups. They might have gone through similar things, but they're interpreting different things. So it's just like, what is your intention? What are you after? But you have to know what it is that you're after. And it's not that you have to have numerology to do it. And yes, I hear whoever is saying, what about the birth? Yes, I'll get to it. But the point is, know what it is that you're after. Because here's the most amazing, mind-blowing thing. What if you did the entire journey and you met the wizard and he says, what do you need? And he's like, I don't even freaking know. I don't know.
Right.
And that's where we all are at. We find God, we seek God, and God says, what is wanted? And I'm like, I don't freaking know. Tell me what I'm supposed to want.
Right.
But he wants you to come to him with the very question. What is wanted? Well, I don't know. Well, come with me with a genuine question. Well, what is my purpose? Well, that's a damn good question, don't you think?
Yeah.
Or what am I good at? What do I need? What am I missing? Why the hell did that happen to me? You hate me, God. I know you do. Because there's no way. Because if you love me, you wouldn't put me through that. So I'm going to circle back to this birthday. But I want to say this. This is the alchemy of the entire thing. Alchemy is turning iron into gold. So the crap that we go through can literally be pearls of wisdom, can be the very gold that we are after to become. But we have to go through all of these denaturing stages of life, which God tests us, God tries us. Find me a religion that tells me otherwise.
Yeah.
So we're going to be victims, we're going to be survivors, or we're going to be thrivers, right? So that's synonymous in all religions. Starting back to the birthday, we have March 9th, 1942. There's so much there. And whoever's birthday this is, you are so freaking welcome that we're doing this, or I'm full of crap, and you're welcome for a little bit of entertainment, because I don't care either way. I don't even brush my hair. Like, stop. Nobody cares. Okay. If I were adding up to the number 27, 2 plus 7 is 9. Then if you were to come visit me, I would say that your yellow brick road is a number 9.
That it's what?
A number 9.
A number 9, okay.
Also known in numerology as a life path 9. That is your road. That is your hill to die on or thrive on. So then it's to say, well, what does a life path 9 do? What does it even mean? And on top of that, I was born on March 6th. Now, you could add up to the number 27, not just March 9th. So, a life path 9's role expressed by you, such a unique individual in the world, expresses it differently. And now, yes, I hear, well, what about all the other people that are also born on March 9th? We're not the same and we're not twins. We know. They would have to have the same exact name as you, be born at the same exact time as you, in the same exact place. So good luck finding that. So when God says that we are unique, I mean, numbers literally prove that. Like, it. And then, oh yeah, yes, and I did say that I was a twin. I heard that as well. But we were not born at the same time, and we don't have the same name, so try me again. But my yellow brick road and my twin brother's yellow brick road is the same road, but how our personalities express it are different because of other things. Again, long rabbit hole.
So same life path number, different personality. Where's the personality come from?
Personalities come from so many things. So if you're here to learn and grow, then we learn and grow in the very perspective that we've been given. And so who we are, there's a lot of question out there of nature versus nurture. Okay. And honestly, the esoteric that I participate in from my grounding and healing for others only validates that there are parts of us that are innate, and there are parts of us that we are taught. And our personality is cultivated between the fusion of the two. You see, what you observe in life and your natural talents, you will use your talents to thrive or survive depending on different circumstances and different traumas that you're going through. And so you can actually be different the older you get, positive or negative, based off of life experiences. That's why you hear people say, oh, I used to have a temper, now I don't.
Yeah.
Personalities come from the center part of your birthday is the talent that you brought. And what I find very endearing about, is it March 6th? Is that what I picked? Does anybody know?
March 9th.
March 9th.
March 9th.
So here we have a life path 9, and I'll explain it. But the very talent that you brought with you to slay this is the day that you were born.
Okay, so on the 9th, so third month, but 9th day.
The 9th is your talent.
Is your talent.
So it's crazy. So here you're a life path 9, and you're bringing the talent of 9. So which means you're actually really, really, really good at being a 9, because that's what you're bringing to the table. Not saying that you couldn't, right? But then March, being born in March 9th, that starts to give you your sun sign, your zodiac, your astrology. That is your school of thought, the way that you're thinking about things. So on March 9th is a Pisces, if you're quizzing me. We're talking about a Pisces life path 9. So now we're really, really diving in further to this birthday. 1942, even being born in 1942 to add up to a 27 also has a meaning. If you look at the American history in 1942, we've got a lot going on in our country.
Yeah.
Okay, but on top of that, the entire world is looking for a spiritual awakening in that year. If you go back in history, and I can just do that in numerology and look at 1942, because it adds up to the number 16. 1 plus 6 is 7, which is a spiritual seeker. So we're dealing with a lot of spiritual awakening that year, and awakening to what is true for you, what is true for society. So a 9 is a dynamic humanitarian. A 9 is a powerful leader that very much seeks to lead with the greatest amount of empathy. But if your road is a 9, to be a humanitarian is empathetic, then perhaps a life path 9 born on the 9th also has to go to the greatest depths of trauma for closure, release, and completeness, to be able to resonate empathy.
So if I'm understanding this, just knowing what you're coded to be doesn't necessarily mean that it's all going to be rainbows and butterflies.
No, what you're coded to be is what you collect and bring to the wizard. It's the entire path. A life path 9 struggles with the pressure to lead by the very example that society expects from them. So it challenges autonomy. So if this was someone, in the military as a commander, and I don't know these things, but pretend I do, they would have to trust their own sense of self and intuition, and maybe not be by the book, but be right. Because not always tradition is sometimes no longer relevant. And it's the courage to be seen not by the book. I don't know how many of you play video games, but I like a few. And I do. And I really like Mortal Kombat.
Okay. I've played Mortal Kombat. It's a good game.
Yeah.
Get over here.
Yes.
Right?
I think it's because I played piano, my fingers can really hit it. So I don't even know what the hell I'm doing. But I'm kicking ass, taking names, and everybody dies. Nice. So who cares, right?
Right.
It ranges people. But anyways, don't play with a piano player. Because if you hit it fast enough, people die. But anyways, so you have to pick these different avatars, and I don't think it's any different from any other game. What if the very avatar that is needed for the very level isn't here? And you have to be the first version of a new option, a new character, a new player in Mortal Kombat. Where instead of picking to be just like this person or this person or this person, or my dad owns a painting company, I'm now inheriting this painting company and to carry the legacy. It's like Mulan, bring honor to us all. It's like it's not about your family's legacy. It's about creating more, that your family has legacy, but it doesn't mean you pass the baton of the very same avatar. So somebody with a life path 9 has to really break away from tradition by being a dynamic leader. Like, oh my gosh, if you look at different amazing military commanders throughout history, or those that have created countries and things, this is a pressure to be the new leader that is now relevant. Tradition is beautiful. I love tradition. I love history. I love going to museums and all the things. But there's also something sexy about bringing something fresh and new to the table that society needs now. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Was long again. Sorry, rabbit hole part 2.
No, that was, again, very, very educational advice, right? So for the listeners, as we're going through this and we're trying to clean ourselves up, we're constantly trying to be better, right? We're out there, we're exercising, we're doing that part of it. We're eating healthy. Right, we're taking down that part now. But as far as trying to connect with ourselves and really walk that path that's been laid out for us, what's your advice on just stepping into that light?
Well, and physical fitness is very important. Eating healthy, taking care of your body. There's enough out there that we're gonna skip all that and just say amen.
Yeah.
Okay. Mental health is also very, very important. Sometimes it gets glazed over. We don't want to talk about it because we don't want to share our feelings. We don't want to share our truth. We don't want to be criticized. And to be honest, sometimes we don't even know what it is that we're feeling. We're not even sure what we're feeling. And some people don't want to talk about their feelings because talking about their feelings doesn't fix the past. And I get it. I hate that.
Yeah.
It's like, why tell you my trauma? Like, it was in the past. It is what it is. I'm over it and I'm done.
Right.
That is fair. This is where the disconnect happens with mental health. It is going to eat you alive later in another way. When we bury our trauma, when we bury our feelings, we bury it within ourselves. And then one day we just freaking crack.
That is a common theme, right? That burying our past, and then it coming and rearing its head at some point.
Yeah. And the thing is like, then you're like, well, Dani, if I share my feelings, I still feel like crap. Valid. It's understanding the origination of these feelings, which is where the release of the healing is, the perspective, the clarity, the release of why did I go through that? What was the lesson? What did I come out of that doing? So many people get so bitter about the wisdom that they've gained, but like, how the hell are you supposed to learn it in either way? I have this mantra that has helped me. You can say it's crap, or you can put it on as a tattoo. Whatever you need to do. Or fast forward this and be like, this is crap. We say this all the time. When people who come into my office say this all the time or on Zoom. Had I known.
Yes.
Had I known. I would have never done that. Like, oh my God. That's not even me. Right? Heat of passion moments. Right. We say stupid crap or we do stupid things. Had I known. Talk about that about marriages, jobs, careers, car accidents. Had I known, I wouldn't have done that. I really wouldn't have done that. And we talk about it all the time. We go, regret. And yet it's the very thing that helps us learn. So sit with me now. We're going to do this again. And I'm going to create a paradox and I'm going to flip it on its ass for you. Pardon, I said that. I don't care. You guys curse worse. Okay. Had I known, I wouldn't have done that. Had I not done that, I would have never known. I thank God every day that I now know. And now that I know, I do things differently. Doesn't mean I do it better because what is better if you didn't know? So are we not doing the very best that we know in the moment? And people are like, no, Dani, I knew better, but not enough to not do it. So I'm not listening to your I knew better. So that's crap. I'm throwing that out. So I'm going to say it one more time so the tattoo artist knows what I said.
You just give everybody a clean slate on this. Like just giving everybody a pass.
Why wouldn't you?
I love it.
Is life about learning?
Okay.
I'm not saying that everything we do is okay, but it's okay to learn from it.
Let's go through it again because I want this tattoo.
Had I known, I wouldn't have done that. Had I not done that, I wouldn't have known. And then one step forward, now that I know, I do it differently.
Not that I wouldn't do it, I would just do it differently. Mm-hmm. Just still got to do it.
Yeah, because you do the best you can anyways. We all do the best we can. Even when we suck, that's our best.
That's grace.
And that's healing.
Yeah.
That's where we can't change the past. But I say, what did you learn from it? What was God trying to teach you? What was God trying to teach you? He teaches you through life experience. I'll tell you right now, we wouldn't be here with human form and human body unless true wisdom is through actual experience. Right?
Yeah.
How many times does a child say, Daddy, explain this to me? And Daddy says, I'll tell you when you're older. Because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, they go to ChatGPT now, but...
Yeah, but even then,
yeah.
They would have to really, really read it, not just copy-paste it onto something. But even then, do we not have ChatGPT up in heaven in some weird way? Do we not have access to things? So are we book smart, street smarts? We hear about this all the time, but you really don't know until you know. You really don't understand until you understand. And that's why certain patterns come into our life, because an experience hasn't taught us until an experience has taught us. And sometimes it's in the very experience that teaches us the very experience. Can I say experience one more time? Sorry. Oh,
I like how you put that. That's, again, it just has grace written all over it. Giving yourself, again, we say it all the time. I didn't know. If I would have known, I would have done.
Oh, facts. Right?
Yeah, 100%. When did you first feel yourself being like called this direction, and where did you start?
I get asked that question a lot, and I'm still trying to find what my true north answer is, because each of our talents and each of our gifts continue to expand as we continue to live and grow. And so they say that knowledge and growth is one eternal round. So if it's one eternal round, it's always been around, it's always been with me. But it starts to expand and widen. And I think that's how all talents are. So I don't think that there is a starting point of intuition, because they say that the light of Christ is in every soul, to know good versus evil and to feel God's love, if that resonates for you, because it does for me. Yeah. So it's to say, when did you become a child of God or a child of energy, or to be able to connect to your intuition? I think the real question is, when did I stop all of the noise of expectation and trauma and blindness to come back to self and self-worth, and to really listen to what is actually true versus what I'm taught to believe? Because an all-loving God, if he's all-loving, also doesn't judge. And yet we sit in a society that claims religion and God, and yet we're the first to judge someone else, almost in relief. Like, at least I'm not that.
Right. Like,
we almost need bad people in the world so that we can feel good. And I don't know where in the Bible that was ever written. So here we are.
Right.
All being awesome and sucky at the same time. So I think when you talk about the word grace, I think grace is the first commandment, is to love one another. as we love ourselves. But if we can't love ourselves, well, then we can't love one another.
Let's venture into as above, so below.
Yeah, and as within, so without. Let's go all the way around.
Okay. So again, this is for everybody at home. How do we get to that enlightenment to where we start getting rid of the noise, start focusing on internal for that purpose?
100%. So we're talking about grounding.
Yeah.
We're talking about grounding our energy. When you feel that you are loved, my mama would say, I love you, warts and all. Because there isn't a soul that is perfect. There isn't a soul that is living their truth 100% of the time, because sometimes we don't even know what the truth is. Thank you. As within, so without is the first for me. And I'm going to explain that. And then we have as above, so below. And those of you that don't understand what we're talking about the Hermetic texts, some of the great philosophers. When you feel calm, you give calm.
Yeah.
When you feel anger, you give anger. And I'm not saying don't feel anger, but understand that when you feel anger, you put out anger. And anger is an emotion that is meant to be expressed. But is it possible that one could feel angry and also calm? Do we have to demonstrate the emotion of anger and feel it? Now, some of you are saying, well, then I just bottled my anger and it just festered. You're not wrong. And then you got to get more blood pressure medicine, and we don't need that. But can you have enough calm and clarity to know that this guy's a total, and respond in a calm manner and still take him out, but in a very calm way? Like, hey, we don't do this here. I appreciate your intention, but this is not okay for the people of my home.
Okay.
When we ground ourselves first, then and only then can we access society. If we go as within, so without, and we could go on days for this, and I can keep talking about this, but I'm going to talk about its reciprocal really quick. And we say as without, so within, then we're saying that my external environment now influences my internal environment. Or as within, so without. So your power is based off of what you let in here and what you start with. How you start your day, how you reset your day. Everybody talks about how they reset their day. How they start their day. But at any time you feel off, you should freaking reset your day.
Yeah.
Reset your intention. Reset what it is that you want to say. They always, people always say, well, think before you act. Well, yeah. That's another version of reset yourself. Check yourself. Maybe you should.
Yeah.
So, emotion. We are not allowed to feel. And yet we all feel it. Emotion. We're not allowed to process it. And so we don't. But then we really process it. You know what I'm saying? All over somebody else. But it gets processed. They say on the New York subways and in the airports, if you see something, say something. Yes?
Yes.
It's like the last damn thing we ever do. Children know how to cry when they're sad. Children know how to express anger. And then they're done. But somehow we're taught in society to bottle it all up and give it to God. And that you don't even give it to God. You just say, I give it to God. But you don't even take it out in prayer. You're rehashing it out there. Process your feelings even alone. Well, I don't process my feelings. I don't like to look weak. Then don't look weak. Do it quietly. What do the scriptures say? Pray in your closets. Or even God can hear you, but you won't do it. So back to the original question, which takes this whole time to answer.
Yeah.
Human discipline, physical health, body health, all those things people have on lockdown. But yet we don't handle the emotional health because we don't let ourselves close the loop of an emotion. We don't ground ourselves to feel calm and grounded in all situations. So we get too angry, then we have to calm down. If we get too excited, we still have to calm down.
What if we're just angry all the time?
We're angry all the time because we never let ourselves ever process our feelings. And we're actually angry about that. We're also angry because we don't understand what we went through.
So how do we start that path? I mean, you mentioned grounding, but what's that even look like?
I think the first thing is to understand that everything has a reason.
Okay.
I think that's really important. There's a reason for everything.
So being okay with it first?
Yeah. And I think finding out what it was. Whether you get a reading, whether you do numerology, whether you come find me or not, you can sit in intuition and ask, what did this lesson teach me? Why did I go through that? You know what I mean? Because this makes me feel all these feelings. Good, because that's just kind of how it goes. Honey, when you build a building, you're going to have sawdust. It's going to get messy. Then we have to sweep it out. It's the trauma of the wood being shaved into perfection, yes?
Yeah.
But if we understand what it is that we're building, then we know it's part of the process.
And it's okay.
Yeah, we're not what happened to us. That's like saying we're the sawdust of the creation. We have to clear it. Do you not?
So it's a perspective thing.
Everything's perspective. If you go to therapy, or if you pray to God, or you do both, or you come to me, it's all about perspective. Now, I can hear some of you talking about toxic positivity, or let's just be positive and everything's fine. It's fine, everything's fine. No, it's not. It's not freaking fine. It's not fine. Telling you that everything is fine is toxic. I'm just going to say that.
But going back to the thought that everything has to happen and then there's a reason within that, then it does kind of make it fine, right?
No.
No?
It's called surrender. Surrender is different from toxic positivity. Toxic positivity is power hosing you stuff to like brainwash you to not process your feelings.
So stop smiling through it and actually start processing it.
Well, smile through it. But understand that you're going to smile through it because you're going to find the clarity that you need to understand what you went through. That's what we smile for. We don't smile that it's okay. It's not freaking okay. But it's okay to understand why.
Okay, so to get a little personal, when we first spoke, right, we talked about my alcoholism.
Okay.
We talked about that was something that was required. I had to experience that in that sense, and even though it was horrible and shitty, there was positive that came out of it. So
100%.
Is that that fault?
Yes. No. Yes. All the things. So adding to that, we're talking about toxic positivity, but there's also a thing called toxic negativity. When did your crappy ass words to yourself have valid? Like, the more negative we talk, the more true it is.
Right.
And the more positive we talk, then we just think it's fake. At what point is it just toxic?
I don't know.
To not just be in your real. But then we're like, we don't know what that is. Negative, positive, surrender. I'm going to put you right back into that, and then I'm going to talk about your alcoholism.
Okay.
Surrender is the in-between. Surrender is neither positive nor negative, because positive and negative is actually just your perspective. You be going through the same experience, but feeling it differently based off of perspective, right? One man's trash is another man's treasure. You've heard that too. Surrender is where you find peace. To know that everything has its purpose. And back to the child that says, Daddy, why? And he says, I'll tell you when you're older.
Yeah.
It's because you don't get it. You don't get it until you get it. So even in the very act of going through the thing, and we're going to talk about alcoholism, because I think that there are people in this audience that can appreciate this. You can't have a question answered until you understand enough to actually get the answer. Or you get a version of the answer that you can process. And then as you grow into light and truth, that answer deepens, does it not?
Yeah.
So surrender, first part of surrender is when you don't understand. So I'm going to understand. This doesn't make sense now, but I know that it will. And maybe you haven't had all the experience and all the parts of the thing that teaches you the thing about the thing. And then you're like, oh my God, this totally makes sense now. Thank God, right? So many people are so quick to heal from a trauma. I'm not saying don't heal from a trauma. But baby, you may not be done with the trauma. You might still need a couple other things in your thing. And then ever have like, oh yeah, it's all coming together now. Okay, now it finally makes sense.
Yeah.
You ever see someone do embroidery and they're doing a tapestry and they're trying to understand the purpose of this color going into this? You know, use this metaphor and they kind of look up off of it and you kind of see the full picture. Well, honey, maybe it's not the whole picture yet. Bob Ross is painting with his big old fro, and God bless him for doing it. But he only started in this right upper hand corner, and you're like, why is it this way? I hate this. This doesn't even make sense. I wanted it to be this color, and I don't get it. But by and by, as you start to paint the color of your life, you start to paint the picture, the very thing that God wanted you to see, or universe or source, whatever you resonate with. Finally, you see the big picture. Oh, I was holding it upside down the whole damn time, but I didn't know it was upside down until I saw that it was upside down. So can we surrender to say, I don't have all the pieces? And can we have peace knowing that it's going to make sense later? But if I reveal the entire thing, well, two things. A, you're not going to want to do it. Evil truths of growth. I don't want to do it. I don't know. And you may not stick it out. So you may start, you quit. So sometimes we don't get to know everything so that we actually do it. Oh no, I have to do it. Alcoholism. That is a topic. But we're going to do grace today, not because I'm nice, not because it's toxic positivity, because I'm a New Yorker. We don't filter. Maybe I should.
So you mentioned grace.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to give us grace with this alcoholism?
Yes. I'm going to give you some grace in alcoholism. I'm going to give you some grace in things that you should think I shouldn't give you grace in as well. And be hated. And that's fine. Hate me. But at least I'm unabashed, and you're welcome for that. We talk a lot about things that we go through. We talk a lot about things that we do. We talk a lot about things that have happened to us. Because we're processing the actual thing. And yet, the higher thing is the purpose of why we experience it to begin with. That higher frequency, that higher version is the lesson. The God's plan.
Yeah.
And I could cry because I heard someone get very, very angry. I felt that something really, and it's something really, really traumatic. It just saw through my mind's eye. And I feel that sense of anger of how could God have allowed that to happen? And I'm going to give you grace and space in what I just felt. I'm not saying that people deserve the actions of others that hurt you. And I'm not saying that what you necessarily did to someone they deserved either. So we're gonna pause on that right now. What I'm going to say is we don't know the nuances of light versus dark, dark versus light, unless we go head on with it. And I hate that for you. I hate that for me. Some of us are too trusting. Did you know?
Yeah.
And we're like a deer in the headlights. And you look at some of those beautiful souls go through the hardest things. And you say, how could God have ever let that happen? And you know what? I'm not here to give you all the answers today, but I will tell you is everything that the world does teaches. Teaches you what to do, teaches you what not to do. And I'm not here to tell you what to do, and I'm not here to tell you what not to do. But I will tell you that everything that is done is a lesson. And when we can surrender to understanding that everything is a lesson, then we can release the anger to say, because I had gone through that, I know this. I want to talk about March 9th, 1942.
Okay.
Because this is fraught with a lot of trauma for empathy. If you, before you're born, let's say that's a thing, and you ask God a question before you come here, He sends you here to get the question answered. Back to, I'll tell you when you're older. Here, let me show you. March 9th, 1942 said, what is love? Not just love of my neighbor, but love of all of humanity so that when I win, they win. What is that? God, what does that look like? He sends him down to be criticized, to be ridiculed, to go through this shame of wanting to be a leader, but breaking away from family tradition, to not following in the footsteps of their ancestors, to find a new path, and to struggle with being seen and to be seen hurting. A lot of people won't let you see them hurt. But when you're on a big stage and you hurt, not only can you show hurt, you can show how it's healed. So the only thing that's left is the lesson. Then and only then does one have empathy. Because when we say, I've been there, I get it. Where do we get that from? So when we say, how did God do that to us? Maybe why did you ask God that question? Because you can't ask for an answer and then literally refuse the very way that that answer comes to you. And we're all made differently. Which means some of us are stronger than others, are we not?
No.
So some have to go through really deep waters and some have to go through shallow waters to learn empathy. We don't want things that are so bad they kill us, because that frustrates the plan. But I'll tell you what, if you sign up for that, oh, damn now, we'll try.
Yeah.
So you asked about alcoholism. We talked about grace. We talked about surrender. So let's look at the bigger picture here. Numerology has 4 specific rebalancings that a soul seeks. Some of us have them all, some of us only have 1, some of us have 2, some of us 3. Every soul here practically has at least 1. Addictions come in lots of forms. And I think we're all addicted to something. Some of us are even addicted to sugar. So it's not about what we're addicted to and what we're doing with our addiction, which I'll circle that. It's what is it doing to you as within, so without.
Yeah.
Addictions come in all signs. We have drug addiction, we have sex addiction, we have alcoholism, we have spending. We're addicted to avoiding our feelings. We can be addicted to a lot of things that do not ground us. So, when we have an addiction, we are self-sabotaging our freedom because we're addicted to something that we have to have. So, it bypasses all logic. We can be addicted in a relationship. We can have trauma bonds. Addictions are chemical. So we have a disharmony in our body that makes us do the thing. And that's why with sheer willpower, I know this is bad for me, isn't enough. Okay? So the root of this entire thing has nothing to do with the addiction. It has to do with what am I escaping? Processing my feelings and my freedom, just skipping to the next part. Because there's escapism at the root of every addiction. Because we say, what the hell were we thinking? Why did I do that? Well, that's the beauty. We weren't. Isn't that fun? I don't know. I just ran my debit card. It felt really good. I don't know. In that split moment, I was not okay. I was not calm. I wasn't grounded. And I sought to find that grounded calm. And I couldn't find the ground beneath my feet. So I put AstroTurf under there. A quick fix. Oh, this feels good. And then that quick fix, which is really escaping feeling. We want to just stop thinking. People who have addictions of food go into a trance state when they're eating because it's the somatic movement of fork to face. You literally just shut your brain off because you're focusing on eating. Cigarettes, hand to face, vape. It's the somatic movement. It's almost like addiction yoga, where we center ourselves in movement on something that helps us escape. I'm just putting it out there. So it's not about escaping our feelings. It's about doing it in a way that doesn't harm the body or the emotional well-being of others, which is the issue. Because when we self-sabotage our own freedom and it doesn't affect anybody else, well, then it's our own cross to bear. But when your addictions are creating collateral damage around you, changes the game. Addictions are emergency buttons in an emotional crisis. I'm going to say that again. Addictions are emergency buttons in an emotional crisis. Now I want you to talk about that. What are your thoughts? Reflect that back to me.
Yeah, I mean, the addiction, the habit, going through, you're talking that hand to face with eating, right? With smoking, even with drinking, with alcoholism, right? It's like you're in that habit. You come home, first thing you do, you hit the fridge, you grab that beer, whatever it looks like, right? It's going through those acts, but these are self-sabotaging acts. And so you have to change basically that pattern of behavior, right? I mean, because you're still programmed to have those desires, to want that thing, but because this is a self-sabotage, right? Like you said, like food, alcohol, whatever that is, you have to change that energy and change that habit. Now, you talked about the emergency button with trauma, that addiction becomes the emergency button when dealing with emotional baggage, right? Emotional trauma, right? Whatever that looks like. I can picture it clearly, right? Things start to get ramped up a little bit.
I just need a beer.
I just need a beer. I need a smoke.
So you go outside.
Yeah, that's the emergency button.
It is.
So it becomes the emergency button. Also, is the easy button, right? Becomes that's what.
Yep.
That's what's going to fix this. That
and
quick fix.
And who doesn't like easy? Oh my God! Hello, quick fix.
Yeah.
We live in a society of quick fixes. But like, this is ancient.
Like, I can handle this as long as I have this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can have healthy addictions. Yeah, I'm going to say that again. You can have healthy addictions.
Exercise. A lot of people are addicted to exercising. When they really get into it, it becomes an addiction.
Yeah. Well, because what does these emergency buttons, healthy or not healthy, do chemically to the body?
Dopamine.
Yes. Right. We're all drug addicts. Because dopamine is a drug that's actually naturally made in our body. So if somebody says, oh, I'm a drug addict, I smile and say, me too. It's just true. I'm addicted to the sun. Judge me. Tell me about sunscreen. Great. I'm addicted to hot baths. Judge me. In there too long. Get pruny. I'm addicted to the pause where I just stop thinking for a moment and just receive. I'm addicted to stop listening and just hear what's around me, whether it's the sound of the washing machine or the sound of the birds. I'm addicted to the sound of ocean waves. Everybody needs to step off of life. Everybody needs to escape. We have to. We're supposed to. Overthinking doesn't make you more productive. It sometimes just wears your tires out. You're spinning your wheels. You ever heard that? Oh, I'm just spinning my wheels.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't drive unless you have someplace to go. What are you going to do? Go out and spin your wheels? But we do that with our brains all the time. I'm just going to spin my wheels. I'm going to overthink. I'm going to come up with a solution. And then we have these meltdowns. Who doesn't? We just have to step off of it. Step off of it. But if we haven't found a healthy way to step off of it, we were like, well, Dani, I can't shut off my brain. Join the club. Shutting off your brain was never the thing. It was change the focus of what your brain is thinking about. You can't shut a brain off. Matter of fact, when someone's in a coma, their brain is still active. Did you know? So try me again. Try me again. No. It's about redirect. You ever have a baby cry and you give it a cracker? Redirect. Give yourself a cracker, man. Step off of it. Like, you're okay, but you give yourself a cracker that gives you cancer. Oh my God. Sorry. And cut. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just saying, do you know what I mean? So, back to numerology. There is an addicted code. Now you're all like, what is it? What is it? It's the number 14. So if you're born on the 14th, and I hear you judging all your friends, shut up. I'm not telling you things because I don't know who you are. You could be maniacal, manipulative, and you could just be a total jerk. So, whatever. And there's a lot of ways you can add up to a 14 as well. But it just means that you are coded to self-sabotage your freedom. And one of the ways that you can do that is through addiction. But we can choose addiction or we can self-sabotage in another way. Maybe we have dreams, but we don't organize them, and so then we don't have them. Maybe we care so much. I know. Look at you all trying to be like Jesus, and I don't blame you, but watch this. So concerned with everybody else's freedom that, baby, you do not have. Being a workaholic is also escaping your feelings. So you can never take a day off and be, can have like employee of the month, and you can have that really cool parking spot. You ever see Office Space? Like, stop. Like, if you identify your sense of self through your career, you're going to sabotage your freedom of retirement, of what it feels like to be free. Like, you were working towards this freedom, you don't even have to be free, so you just go work again. What does it feel like to be free? We fight for freedom, but we don't even give ourselves. We talk about it all damn day. But are we truly free to feel? Are we truly free to be? Are we truly feel free to stop thinking for just a moment? and process. Because that's where the real freedom is. It doesn't really matter what happens on the outside if you don't know what to do on the inside. If we have not created how to feel free, how to embody what it feels like to be free. I mean, we have these fun songs. We put our face out the window like a dog. A dog knows freedom, puts his face out there all damn day. It is enjoying the ride. But we hate it. We hate the very ride that we sign up for. That's like 700 rabbit holes in. So, grace on addiction. Because addiction isn't the problem. It's why we are escaping. We should escape. But we should escape to feel, not escape to not feel.
So, for a lot of the listeners, having the military background, a lot of trauma in wars, you talked about people identifying their purpose with their careers, which we tend to do, especially in the military.
Right.
You kind of have to marry the job. It's your life depends on it.
Yeah.
Right, in a lot of cases. So when we leave that and we don't have that career anymore, a lot of us will identify with our emotion that is left over, that resonates from that career.
Yeah.
We were talking about it yesterday, being angry and realizing that we're experiencing angry feelings, that we're not angry, we're experiencing angry feelings. Can we dive into that just a little bit?
Yes. I want to touch back on it's very beautiful to be married to your career. I know you didn't expect me to say that, but it is. Because it means you burn for something. We have to burn with passion to become. So whatever your career is, if it burns for you, it means it's training you, it's fortifying you, it's burning you up to be the thing. Where the disconnect is we are married to our soul's purpose, which is then reflected in their careers. And there's an identity funeral when people retire or end something, whether in the military or wherever, because they didn't realize that the career didn't make them who they are. The career gave them an opportunity to show themselves in the world who they've always been. And that doesn't have to end when you retire or you leave, because it was just a stage, if you will, to reflect who you innately are. Like,
it's revealing.
Yeah, so those are like amazing leaders and hardworking. What, only in the military? Or was this an opportunity to expand on that and add extra sets and reps to who you are? But why are we saying that has to stop? Why can't we use that same talent and redirect it in other ways? You see? So it's not I was this, I am this. And I was able to demonstrate all of my talent, my passion, and skills in this version of myself. And I look at that. I look at all the different jobs I've had and the different careers, that I've had. You're like, people are like, how old are you? Like, just stop. Like, you don't know me. Book a reading and I'll tell you all about me. Trust me, I am qualified for bullshit. I'll let you know. That's all you need to know. I don't need my resume. That's mine. Anyways, so noisy and judgy. I don't care. Judge me. Do it. What I wanted to say is, we are not here to be. We're here to become who we are to ourselves. A bee has to hit every flower until it dies. And then a bee gets overwhelmed, I haven't hit it all. What if it only hits one flower? Did it not do the thing? But it freaks out. It's like, I don't do flowers anymore. I'm old and I'm washed up. Oh, but then there's this cute little girl that sees this little bee. Loving his fuzzy ass. They're so cute. I don't want to be above, but they are, those big bumblebees. They feel furry and I want to grab them, but you know on the ends. But this little girl just loves the bee because it's cute. I'm probably the little girl in this story, right?
Right.
And the bee's like, that's not my purpose, girl. I'm like, but it's your purpose to me. And sometimes the bee is just buzzing and it's just being a bee. Our purpose is not just what we see ourselves to be. It's the value that other people see in us. It might not even have to do anything. Maybe you're this amazing commander leader, but you tell the best jokes and you're the funniest thing on earth. Is that also not amazing? Is that also not a healing energy? Are you also not a healer of healing energy? So when we become so streamlined into who we are, and then that version of us has closed the chapter, then, well, it's like we're dead. We're dead alive. You just miss the vibe that you felt in that career. So I'm going to say that again. You miss the vibe that you felt. So why can't you find that vibe in another way? Because we're all here for the vibes. I'm just here for the vibes. That's what I always say. I want to share this. I'm just here for the vibes. So it's not what you did. It's how it made you feel that why you do it to begin with. So sit in the energy. We talk about drug addiction, alcoholism. There's a frequency. There's a vibe that you're after. It's not the thing because you wouldn't even do it. You're after that dopamine. How do you find that very frequency and the very thing? I helped somebody quit smoking. I do hypnosis. Find me, whatever. I don't care. Don't find me. Please don't find me unless you're ready. And it wasn't about getting her to stop smoking. It was about her to focus truly the vibe that she gets from smoking. Because that's the sex button. Okay. And I'm not taking that from you. I'm taking it, I'm allowing you to no longer resonate with the method to the frequency.
Okay.
The method to the madness.
Right.
She liked to dance. And I said to her, baby, I will not take your cigarette from you. You will choose to put the cigarette down when you can feel the frequency, regardless of whether you're holding a cigarette or not, right?
Right.
Because nobody's a smoker because she doesn't smoke when she's calm. She only smoked when she wasn't calm. So she had to learn how to ground her energy so that she was more calm than not, as within, so without, not as without. I'm so stressed out, therefore I need a cigarette to find the calm, find the activity to keep her calm. And you know what? She started to smoke less and less and less. Because she didn't need it. That's one way to do it. Another client that I had loved to dance. So I said to her, I'm not taking the cigarette from you, but you will dance when you smoke. And she did. And I was like, don't light your house on fire. Don't throw the ashes everywhere. Like, could you see this? But I wanted to show her that that frequency can be given in another way. Because we're like, well, what do you replace it with? People tell you that all the time. It's not what do you replace it with in this doing. You see his hands going? What do you replace it with? Because I don't want to take that hit from you. Right?
Right.
My alcohol is in hot baths, sunshine, the sounds of birds. My coffee, judge me, fine. There you go, people. My mug is the size of the pot. I should just have a straw. Like, who cares? I take it black, so judge me more. I didn't say it was perfect. But I have my reasons and you have your reasons. But at least I'm doing it in a grounded way. I'm outside on my front porch listening to birds, sipping my coffee. So I'm having a double hit. Where you're doing a double shot of espresso, I only need one shot because the birds are my second hit. See, I'm doing it.
And the sun.
And the sun. All the things. So please do not, in this part of what we're talking about, do not shame addiction in that way. Never shame the need to escape and ground yourself. I think you need to embrace that you do not have a routine that can handle stress. And honestly, the more grounded you are, the less stressed you are. And actually, stupid crap doesn't matter anymore. So they didn't matter. Like the stupid guy that honks. Like, okay, sorry his day is so bad, but that's not going to rattle me. Like, how bad is his day that he has to road rage around me? He's not even present in the moment. He's not even enjoying the ride. And I know so many of us don't want to be in the car and we want to gun the yellow light. I didn't get it. When did life have to be such a rush while you're getting there? Why did our brain have to be hard? It's going to take the same amount of time. I have a butterfly that hangs from my rearview mirror. And it has this little crystal pendulum. And it wiggles when I drive. And wiggles, just wiggles. I wiggle, whatever. I remember being in the line at the DMV where I was. It was a drive-through DMV. Pretty savage, right? Oh my gosh, you get to vibe in my own car. Brum, 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 brum. You know, and I was just there. It's super great if your car has air conditioning, but I had a 1997 Mercury Tracer with the roof peeling off, and I could have died like a baby left in a car. I was like, this is the dumbest idea ever. I'm rolling down the windows. I'm like, this is horrible. And I couldn't wait to get underneath the awning so I at least have a little bit of shade. Like, I have all these feelings. All these feelings. And I was like, I'm not going to die. I have my Gatorade. This is not brought to you by Gatorade, but it really should be because this is my thing. Anyways, there it is. My mirror hanging, doing its thing. And I just enjoyed watching it go back and forth. Back and forth. All I have is just this moment. It's really not that bad. All of the emotions that I'm having, although valid, are not helping me. They're making me feel a type of way. And I'm the only one that's going to be able to calm it down. It's like, no. We're just going to be here. When you're driving, you can find a grounded energy of perspective. If you live in the mountains, you can see the mountains. If you see the ocean. Or just be like a little kid on a road trip, noticing all the different states of different license plates. You can give your mind something to do other than be angry. And be calm. That's angry calm. So back to angry calm. I really want to talk about this because I feel like so many of us need it.
Okay. And
it's something that I've had to foster within myself. When we get upset, we get angry. We don't like it. We don't want to do it. But we're so burned with such passion and you need to feel it. You're going to learn today. You know? I get it. But if you get yourself to that level, I'm going to call it Mach 10. And you're the pilot. You're the only one that can land that. And take a lot of effort to get to Mach 10. And then take twice as much effort to land that plane now. Drive 100 miles an hour and slam on your brake, you're still moving. Just calm down, they say. Well, let's just stop your car then. At 100 miles an hour, good luck. Try that. But if you slam on your brakes, your body's still in motion, is it not?
It is.
So that's stupid. That is like against all laws of motion. No, I'm not a scientist, but come on, you've all slammed on your brakes. You've seen it. Don't act like I don't know what I'm talking about. I probably don't, but I have learned to stay as calm as possible while expressing anger so that I can calm down faster and sooner and get back to myself. You're like, Dani, you're full of crap. I am, but not for this. Hear me out. You put a pot of water on a stove. Heats up, it heats up. How does it even heat up? It's all the molecules. Like little angry ants car crashing into it. We got bumper car water molecules going on in there, right? How does it even heat up, right? And then steam is rising. We got all these things happening. That's requiring a lot of energy, yeah?
Yeah.
To do the dance, right? Now we're boiled over. You ever say, oh, you're just making my blood boil? Mm-hmm. You're making your blood boil. You can still think that person's a piece of crap. And there are people that sometimes suck. I'm going to give you that. But you're the one making yourself angry. No, it's that guy. It's that guy. He's making you upset. He's making you not like him. He's making you not agree. But when did that have to be anger? When did that have to be expressed in anger? When you percolate and create your own fire. So you're boiling over. And you splash everybody and you burn everybody. Was that really necessary? Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was. But own your shit is all I'm saying. So if you want to drink that water, you can't drink it boiling. Can't. Nobody can drink it either. So if you're going to deliver water to someone, living water, not what the scriptures say, truth, wisdom. If you're an Aquarius, you are the water bearer, pouring wisdom in others. What is the temperature of the water that you're even giving them? Right? So you can express anger, but in a calm way to let people know that this is serious and this matters. Yes. But you have to literally cool it because nobody wants to be burned by you. They won't even be receptive to it. We love water, but not scalding water or scolding water. You want to hear that one? Ooh, I just made a word. Don't scold me. Don't scald me. So we can give water and wisdom in calm ways. We can express ourselves in calm ways. So that, why are we expressing ourselves? To feel better? Because if it's just for us to feel better, we don't care who gets burned. But if you're really, really genuinely trying to express something, you're really, really trying to make a difference in the world, don't you want it to land? Don't you want it to make a difference? Or you just want to scold them and shame them and say you should have known better? Should they have? Or is that part of your journey to teach them how to know better? But they're not going to, we've heard this all the time, they're not going to care what you think unless they know how much you care. Like, hello, is your water approachable? So separating that back to the boiling water, and somebody says, man, you just need to calm down, you just need to relax. Okay, why don't you tell water to suddenly be made ice cold just because you took it off the burner? You have to allow the very momentum that created the heated situation to space and grace to calm down.
All that energy that you took. Yeah.
But why did we have to go that far? Now your day's shot, because if it took you an hour to get mad, it takes you the entire rest of the day to calm down. And if you start feeding that energy again, well then that's like turning the stove on and off on. Look at you. You were just. Yeah. I don't know why you're outside with a cigarette. I don't blame you. And that's not even helping because now you're smoking mad. Like, hello. So when does it end, Diane? Do not put yourself to a level that you're going to have to U-turn. Listen, if you take a wrong turn and you keep going, you're going to have to turn around and you're going to have to keep going the other way twice as long. So circling back to whoever needs this, you can be angry, calm, because calm creates a palatable receptivity to the very person that you're trying to express it to. You can resonate, you can see each other's point of view, you can connect, and you can step off of it and still have a pretty good day. But then you're like, well, Dani, he still didn't get it. Good. Because if he doesn't get it, he's not going to get it by yelling louder or repeating yourself.
That's right.
Explain once. Teach once, maybe explain twice at the most. And after that, maybe they just don't get it. And that's okay. Someday they'll get it. And that's when God says, I'll tell you when you're older. So don't, if they're going through things or doing stupid stuff, it's because they don't get it. And sometimes we have to learn the hard way. We just do. We don't get it until we get it, yes? Again, a long rabbit hole answer. You're welcome. This is also brought to you by Gatorade. No, I'm kidding. We're going to get sued. We're not going to get sued. Don't put that in the world.
We have a disclaimer up.
Yeah, I just like it.
So getting stuck in, again, identifying with that emotion, right? And we keep talking about grace, but I want to get specific about this,
yeah, please
right?
do.
Like when we feel like we're identifying with that emotion, right?
Yes.
Happiness, anger,
right.
Whatever. And again, we were talking about it yesterday, and
yes, I heard you. I cracked my knuckles. Did you like that? Sorry.
You did what?
My sound effects, I cracked my knuckles. Sorry.
But that basically not... How did you put it yesterday?
We're talking about the brain.
Yeah,
Okay.
like our brain just really... I'll just let you go.
I feel like I heard your question.
Okay, good.
Channeling in. You see how weird I am? So great. One of the most impactful, life-changing realizations that we actually all know, but it was just like, oh, that landed. Is I ask this question all the time. So I'm going to do it on you so that those that are watching can play along. We're playing a game, everybody. How old are you?
48.
Okay. How old is your left foot?
It's 48.
Good. How old is your elbow?
It's 48.
How old is your heart?
48.
How old is your brain?
48.
48. We can keep going, yes.
Yes.
And those of you who are laughing says, well, it depends on which body part came out first. You could actually be older than your ass. And that is also true, but only by like seconds. So be quiet. I'm not listening. Very, very witty, though. Okay. When you die, what do you leave behind?
Everything.
Your body,
Yeah.
right? You do. So, does your left foot get left behind?
It
Yes.
does.
And your heart and your lungs?
Yes.
And your brain.
Yes.
Therefore, soul and brain are two different beings, entities, vehicles. So we do a lot of thinking here. And we do a lot of heart racing here. It's really interesting that when our heart starts to race, we treat it differently than when our brain starts to overthink. And yet, it's a body part. Our heart starts to race. We say, I need to calm down. This is getting to be a bit much. My heart feels like we are in a crisis, right? But we're not. So we learn to slow our heart rate down, yeah? When our brain is overthinking and is racing, we sometimes give it more credibility than it deserves because we think if our brain is racing, something must really be wrong. But when our heart is racing, we can calm that down. If our hand starts to tremor, we can calm that down. But if our brain isn't calm, we are really not okay because we're going to believe everything that our brain tells us. Everything. But I told you that the brain is the vehicle to the soul. And I would literally talk about a vehicle. And a check your engine light goes on. You're going to believe that? You're going to pray that it's not true because then you're going to have the bill. But aside from that, you're going to double check it, right? You're going to validate it. You're going to question it.
Yeah.
So if your light goes on, your brain and you're overthinking, you automatically think that it's true.
Yeah.
But you take your car to the car shop just to see if it's true. So it's to question what you're thinking. Double check it. Validate it. Devalidate it. Become curious, non-reactive. This is a body part. that is so mind-blowing to me. I have to remember that I am not my brain. So when I get a little extra, I just say, my brain is getting a little extra. My heart is getting a little extra. And I'm able to ground myself a lot faster with the very perspective of I am not my brain. It is only a tool. Brains, actually, by design, are meant to keep you alive. They're not necessarily here to solve your problems. Your intuition does. Your higher power does. So when we try to say that I'm going to think through this, maybe your brain just needs to watch a movie and let the big boys handle this. Then you give it to your higher power and you say, Lord, universe, help me receive the solution. Because the brain only knows 48 years of whatever it's been taught. And some of it's trauma and trauma responses and subconscious belief systems and things that get in the way and sabotage us. And I'll tell you what, if you could have come up with the answer from your brain, you already would have. So if you can't think of an answer, it's because your brain literally can't. And we need to give our brain some grace because it's a baby. It's a baby, 48 years old. It's just a baby, just a baby. But the universe is vast and it's eternal. And you're going to let your entire soul's purpose be based off of a body part that is as old as your left hand. Like, are you kidding me? Are you serious? No. Where do you think some of the most beautiful inventions come from? And if you could come up with the answer all by yourself, you wouldn't be overthinking and stressed. That is your moment to say, I need to step off of this. And we need to go outside. We need to breathe. We need to get air. But we don't. We find some monkey sex button to shut off our brain, which is what you're supposed to do so you can receive intuition. But then you shut off your brain. So I can't even hear the intuition. Well, that's stupid. I'm going to lower my frequency so I can calm down, but then I'm just going to be in this walking coma. So even if God were speaking to me, I can't hear it. I don't know. Welcome to church. I don't know what to tell you. Welcome to my couch. Right here, this little pillow couch. That's all I have. So yeah, that's what I do. And when I start to feel a little extra, I remind myself that I am not my brain. I hope that helps you. I hope that helps someone.
It does. Just kind of remembering that our bodies are just a container that contain our spirit.
Yeah. So circling back to emotion.
Yeah.
Emotion is human thought expressed through the body. So what we think might actually need more clarity. We might not even be valid in our feelings, but unless we express our feelings, we won't even be able to validate them or devalidate them. And that's where we talk about toxic negativity. Just because you thought it doesn't make it true. We get some crazy ideas. You ever tell a baby that there's no monster underneath the bed, but they still feel that? It's fine, everything's fine. Not to that body. That body still has the very chemical of fear in it. So even though you're trying to help them with the rationale, right, here in the brain, it's already fired off all of these chemicals and the body treats it as real because the body can't see. It's the only eyes that are on your face are up here. So your hands have to just trust what the eyes see, but if the eyes aren't accurate, the hand doesn't know that it's going to respond. It doesn't know the difference between a truth and a lie. And you don't either. So the trauma child in you that experienced a very visceral thing, or the trauma adult in you that experienced a very visceral thing, was based off of your lens, your scope of understanding. And when you learn more, you have more clarity. And when you have more clarity, you have more release. And then you have surrender to it is what it is, and it was what it was, because that's how it was, not how I felt it to be. If you're hangry, you're an asshole, and everything around you sucks.
That's right.
But it really wasn't that bad. But your emotions decided it was going to be the thing that it was, and then it just ruins everything. So maybe you were just hangry. Maybe your blood sugar was low. Maybe your parent was really tired that day, and I'm not justifying what they said or did, but we all say stupid stuff to our kids, and then we hear stupid stuff from our parents, and it's all stupid. And then we feel a type of way, and then we hold on to it. You know, my dad never told me that he loved me. Yeah, I have daddy issues. Yay. And my mom remarried like 4 times. And not every daddy was good to me. I'm just going to keep that very holy. I'm not sharing. But when I look at people's charts and I look at numerology, I can literally see what they were going through that created collateral for me. And I can look at what I'm going through that can create collateral in other people. And I realize that my father lacked the ability to express human emotion. If you look at his chart, it was shunned. He wasn't allowed to. You couldn't. And if you don't learn how to express yourself, then you don't express yourself. But I felt like he really wanted to. I mean, he never did. But I remember one time, I think it was like 16. Most of my family's dead, by the way. I don't know why. There's people in New York just have kids really old. So you're like, how old are you? There's so much death in your life. Anyway, whoever wanted to know. I remember he used to have parent time. And he was very diligent at parent time. It was empty. And I remember one time he gave me a kiss on the forehead when he said goodbye. It's the only affection I've ever had. Ooh, poor me, right? Who gives a shit? But when you get your self-worth, or you don't get it, that tells you about you, does it not? And so I would write my dad letters. I would tell my dad how I feel. Because you're like, why don't you just tell him how you feel? And he did. And I think that's what's really hard is even though I would have hurt feelings, I was good at expressing them. Okay, maybe not all the time. I'm a Leo. Like, stop, whatever. But I can express my feelings. Remember angry, calm? I had to learn that. But anyways, I was so afraid to not be loved by my dad. I never acted out. I was, so it wasn't like I said stupid crap and he wouldn't talk to me. My dad wouldn't talk to me. My dad didn't even know my favorite color. He didn't know my favorite candy. He didn't know anything. All I would say is I always pay my child support, and I'm grateful. As an adult, I understand what that means financially. But it was not about the money, it was about worth. And so, coming back full circle, if you met me, I'm actually a very loving person and I deserve to be loved. I do. I'm actually very lovable. It's amazing to be lovable and not be loved. But maybe that's what makes me lovable is because I wasn't loved. Do you see the understanding of coming full circle on something? I also understand how important it is to love. Because if you see something, say something. It doesn't have to be bad. It can be really good, too. It can be the very thing that makes someone's day. Someone's outfit, someone's shoes, someone's vibe. I'm going to let you know. When I looked at numerology and I was able to see my dad's chart, my dad was emotionally avoidant. But it didn't mean he didn't have feelings for me. when people die, coming full circle to what I do for a living, we have a lot of unanswered questions. Some of us don't get the closure that we want. And I can't even promise I can give you closure, but it can give you perspective. I can't help people on a journey that I haven't been on. And maybe I don't resonate with this thing or that thing, but it's still the frequency, it's still the vibe, it's still the experience of emotional abandonment. You asked me, when did I start to know I have this gift? And I've always had it. I'm going to say that again. I've always had it. But I finally had it. So I hear that phrase differently now. I've always had it. But finally, I had it. You know damn well what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When things stop making sense. When no matter how hard you try, for whatever reason, you keep building on a sand dune and it keeps being washed away. Why are we trying? Then we're afraid to try, yeah? It's just to be taken from me anyways.
Yeah.
I had a lot of questions and I had a lot of anger and I had a lot of frustrations. I have every reason to believe that I'm not alone on this video. I had one of those deep prayers. You know what I'm talking about? So deep, it was almost like an ultimatum with God. And I said, I demand. Yeah, I got loud. I demand answers. I demand clarity. I demand understanding of the crap that I went through, because I can't imagine that you don't love me. I can't imagine that, and yet there's so much that tells me I'm abandoned and I'm alone. And no one should feel this way. Especially someone that's trying. I mean, I'm not perfect. I'm an asshole, but I do try. I try to be an asshole too. No, I'm just kidding. Help me understand. And this I promise. If you help me understand, I will help everyone else understand them. Because you say that everyone has a plan and just trust the process. I don't think I want to trust anymore. I think I just want to know.
Yeah.
And then I was able to sense more and feel more and understand more. But then I didn't want to do it. Isn't that funny? Why? Why didn't Dani want to do it? Dani didn't want to do it because there's people in the world that suck, that have malintentions, that manipulate, that want to say things to aggrandize their ego or do it for money. Yeah, of course they do it for money. I feel it differently now because dentists do it for money too, and there's so many differences in the world. But I don't want to be a dentist. There's a lot of bending over people's faces, you know. Sorry. Anyways, I had this feeling come over me, pleading that I appreciate it for me, but I don't want to help anyone else because I'm afraid to be seen. I'm afraid to be judged. This is my first podcast. I'm a podcast virgin. Yay. And this feeling came over me that said, this is where you commit me to a hospital. Get ready. Here's your evidence. In 5, 4, 3. I had a feeling that said, I'm not going to make you. But the very reasons that you don't want to do it are the very reasons you're going to want to do it. Because there are charlatans in the world. There are master manipulators. There are liars. There are people that say things. And if you don't, well, they're option are they going to have? Right? And I was like, well, and then I said, well, I'm not going to try. Because if that is true, I don't have to try. It's going to be all you. What I'm going to do is remind myself every day that I'm not my brain. I'm going to empty it. I'm just going to receive what I'm supposed to tell someone. And I'm going to let it between thee and thou as to what it even means. I don't analyze it. I don't judge it. I don't question it. Because it's not my message. Right? And we do this all the time. I just feel to tell you something. I'm here for you. I want to share. Are we all not connected to this light? So when we say, well, I don't believe in that, I only talk to God. Well, that's who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
So I said, all right, I'm going to do it. Just don't make me look like an ass. I got that. I'm like, I can do that all by myself. It's fine. But I mean, the stories that I could tell you blow my own mind. And I'm like, I can't believe. I mean, how would I know that? How would I say that? But how many times have you been at the right place at the right time?
Yeah.
And made a difference in someone's life?
That's right.
Long-winded answer, part 9.
Now this is great. It's all perspective. The whole thing is realizing the perspective you're putting it in. Mm-hmm. The lessons that we're learning are meant for us to learn. Now, you'd mentioned something else, right? So let's talk about getting kind of caught in that loop where you didn't want to do it. You didn't, like, even after you understood the process, you still said, I don't want to do it. No. Right? So for those of us that don't want to do the process, right? Like, we understand the process, but we realize it's going to be hard. Mm-hmm. We don't want to do it. What's going to continue to happen, right? We're just going to stay in this loop until we do it. Yeah. Can you kind of deep dive that just a minute?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, first of all, I do get a feeling from your audience that we feel that life isn't fair. So even though we're talking about having to do the hard things, we're also comparing our hard things to other people. How come that person and how... It is known that we are given what we can handle up to breaking point. I'm going to say that again. We are given what we can handle up to breaking point. How many of you, I mean, we talk about physical fitness. I can't even do a push-up. I can't even be in the military. I suck. My hair would be stuck in the wheel. I have so many issues. Thank you for everything you've done so that I can be feral and free. But I really work hard at it. So my point is, if you talk about like physical fitness and doing all of the different things, not everybody has the capacity to do the amount of reps or weights that you're doing. But they go to, what's it called? Come on. I don't go to the gym, but it's this phrase. Don't you go to like burn or bust? Like, what is it? Like where you do so many reps. Someone's like yelling it on your video right now. I have no idea. You do so many reps.
To like muscle failure?
To like, yes, to like failure. Like you, we're just going to say that you push to failure.
Yeah.
Pretend I know what I'm talking about. But they do. When you're in the gym and you push to failure, why are you pushing to failure?
Because those last reps are the ones that count the most. That's when you're going to get your biggest gains.
Good. Okay. So you come down here to have your ass beat to failure because that is where you're going to have your biggest gains. So if you do not push yourself to failure, you haven't failed God. You've failed yourself. It's just how it is.
So we get our biggest growths through our failures, right?
No pain, no gain, baby.
Okay. That makes sense.
So we say, oh, I am loved by God today. This day is so hard. Oh, I'm feeling his love. I'm so loved right now.
And that's that perspective shift.
Yep. He trusts me with this amount of pain because I'm going to turn into something amazing. I think it's hard because when we go to the gym and we put in the work, we can actually see it, right?
Yeah.
Don't act like you don't go to look good. You go to look good. I'm not even listening to you. Oh, it's for my health and nutrition, my mobility.
It's for the
Shut
physical
up. I'm not
health
even
piece.
listening. Not listening. Because it is true. This is underlying truth, but you can't necessarily see that unless you go to a doctor and get blood work. But to be able to say, I look good, I feel strong, that is a very visual cue to your mind and brain, and it is a dopamine hit. I'm not talking about vanity. I'm talking about being able to see results. You can do this with your house. You clean your garage. You're like, oh my gosh. Like, I didn't mean to trauma or trigger anybody in their garage. Do it. Stop already. But like, if you do your garage and you sit back or you mow your lawn, first of all, the smell of grass.
These are all things that I need to do, by the way. Thanks for just identifying
I'm
how
channeling your to-do list. There's a sense of satisfaction, gratification, aka
dopamine.
Dopamine, right?
Yeah.
That we get. But where's the dopamine for trauma? No, Dani, it's adrenaline and cortisol. You've got it all backwards. I know. But where's the dopamine hit of look what I did? Look what I did even though. Even though I was tired, even though I was broken, even though I was tired. Like, I'm going to keep saying tired. I still did it. That's the failure. The performance. The endurance. So when we come back to what lessons did we learn to have the perspective and the clarity to heal, you've got to give yourself dopamine of saying, that was dope. You did that? Oh my God. You got to pat yourself on the back and be like, that was amazing. But it's over. We forget to tell ourselves that certain traumas are actually over. And that's when we loop. Because we don't know we're safe. That's where PTSD comes from. Because we don't know we're safe. We don't know we're okay. And I can't fix that in you. Because I can't fix it in me. But you know what I do? I can regulate it. I don't say I'm safe because I don't know that. I can't promise I'm safe at any given time. I can't. I can't even say I'm safe on the road. But in this moment, right now, I'm safe.
Yeah.
So I say, I am safe to feel safe in this moment. Because all I have is this moment. And I'm going to surrender just for this moment. I'm going to lay my boots to the bed. I'm going to hang my hat because this moment, it's okay to be safe. And the more you do that in genuineness, the more you're able to recalibrate the chemical misfire of adrenaline, cortisol versus dopamine. And chemically, where a lot of trauma stays in the body is because the body doesn't believe you. Because the chemicals are firing off. It's words to you. I'm okay in this moment. Does this. Yeah. And over time, this feeling here is the normal feeling. And therefore, you can even be angry calm because something is very upsetting to you. but you want to create an impact that actually makes an impact. So you do calm. Because your delivery, they're either going to get it or they're not going to get it. And my passion isn't going to change course other than I'm mad. Ooh, daddy's mad. Mommy's mad. What are your thoughts?
We choose. We have the choice. And some of us choose to identify with things that have happened in the past, feelings that we've had. Some of us choose to let those things go and we choose to feel safe. But these are all choices. So even a feeling is a choice. We decide, our brains ultimately decide how we're going to feel, how we're going to process. It's going through the gymnastics, if you will, of the replication of, finding that muscle failure, allowing to sit in the safety of it and be done with that. But giving, again, it's still a choice. It all comes down to a choice. So when we talk about work, that is also a choice. We choose to do the work to heal. So what's holding us back from moving forward is what we choose to not let go of, and what we choose to not heal from. Is that it?
Yeah, because, and you hit it right on the head. It's feelings is a choice, but we should also choose to question our feelings too. We should challenge them. I told you when that heart was racing, we challenge it.
We know we have to
when
calm
our
it
search
down.
engine light goes on in the car, we freaking challenge it. Well, because it's money, right? But we challenge it.
Right.
When this is firing off, when the hell did we decide that everything that comes through our brain is true?
And that's the ego, right?
It must be true. If I'm thinking it, it must be true. And then I'm going to feel a type of way. How many times have you had a different perspective after you had gotten more information?
All the time.
Okay.
Almost all the time.
Almost all the
always,
time.
right?
And is it fair to say that we never have all the information
Fair.
on anything?
Yeah, fair.
So if that is also true, then what position do I have to literally judge anyone? Honestly, if I literally don't have all the information, so you say I don't have all the information, but based on what I have, this is what resonates and this is what doesn't. Enlighten me and feel free to give me more information. I welcome you to change my mind, but at this point, all roads are leading this way.
Well, we get to a certain point where we stop being so analytical. We have the information that we have, and our ego tells us this is the best course of action to keep us safe, right?
Exactly.
Because it's always about self-preservation.
Yes.
Right? And so and that's ultimately why our ego exists, to keep us safe. But in a lot of cases, we made decisions without having all the information.
Yeah.
And once we do that, it becomes more of a habit. It's habit forming as well.
And it's the perspective and how we process the information. I'll give you an example. A child perceives a specific thing between mommy and daddy fighting. Yes.
Yeah.
At this age, at this age, at this age, at this age. Okay. A child, very little, can be very, very rattled and also not feel safe. An adult child can as well, but just let me sit in this one version, everyone, because there's a million ways to eat an Oreo. I'm going to talk about this one.
Okay.
This child is traumatizedly not feeling safe. Okay. That's here. They start to learn to behave in a way that keeps them safe even in situations. They're going to be the best child, they're going to be a good child, they're going to do all the things so that mommy or daddy never yells at them the way mommy and daddy yell at each other. I'm just going to be so good that I'm never going to actually be targeted in this energy, right? And maybe if I'm good, I can fix everything. You guys, this is like chapter 1 of child grows up in this environment, they may still continue to feel this path. But another sibling could also be experiencing the same thing, right? Because just because everybody's in the same house doesn't mean they're experiencing the same way, right? This other child just says same shit, different day. They're just so over it. They don't even feel it. And this is the most dangerous thing. They say this is normal. They're actually comfortable around it. They don't mind drama because they're so used to that temperature, they vibe it. So even though it's not a healthy environment, it gives them dopamine because they're like, oh, at least as long as my parents are fighting, you know they're still together.
Yeah.
Say that truth. As long as my parents are still together, fighting, they're still together.
Right.
I get scared when my parents are not fighting because when they're both quiet, I feel like someone's just going to leave. So I get a lot of comfort when my parents are fighting.
Sure.
Right? That's a point of view. That goes into the subconscious. And in the subconscious, that child says, I feel safe when people are fighting because at least they're still together. Because together people fight. People fight. It's normal to fight. It's normal to have discord all the time because that's a family. I have a crazy family, they say, and they just say, oh, I just have this crazy family. And you probably do. If you have an Italian family, you definitely have a crazy family. I picked all my relationships based off of being Italian. See, I blame all my ancestors. Anyway. So then this person starts dating. And they look for chaos. Oh, you have a chaotic family? Thank God, because me too. You're an orphan child of drama and chaos.
That's a sense of normalcy to
Trauma bond!
Yeah.
So you're bonding through the chaos and the trauma. And so you feel safe fighting. She feels safe fighting. So what happens to your relationship? We fight.
See, and this is why I talk about generational trauma, that it actually matters. And I get people in the comments section, I'll say, oh, that's bullshit. No, it's not. You absolutely, and this is the normalcy that you get from your childhood.
Yes.
And that normalcy now is what you put out into the world, right? That's what you think a fighting family is, a together family. And you think that's good. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So you solidified my point again, which I love that.
And so then we talk about mind, body, soul.
Yes.
So that's the mind. Giving yourself a belief system of, I am safe when. Mm-hmm. We do this in a lot of things. In our subconscious, it now creates an emotion attached to that belief system, right? So it creates an emotion. And an emotion creates an action.
Mind.
Body, soul. Body.
Body's the action.
Soul is how you're going to just continue your journey. It's your purpose in it. Soul is trying to figure out what is the meaning behind it all. So mind is doing something, the body is doing something, we're acting a certain way. What is the lesson? That's soul, right up here. Ether. What is the meaning of life? What is the purpose of everything that I've gone through? But the mind and the body are putting you through everything. And your intuition is supposed to figure out, so what does this mean? It's like your body is a poem, and then your intuition is trying to find the deeper meaning of all things within the very poem which you're reading. So there's that. That's where psychology comes through. And circling back, we say, oh, I don't want to talk about my feelings because I can't change the past. Yeah, you freaking can. You can change the past. Michael J. Fox did it, did he not? Back to the Future, everyone.
He did.
He kind of did. How do we change the past? By changing the way that we see it. And therefore we can heal from the past. We can let go of the past. We can release it because our understanding changes. So my past memory is my father never loved me because he never told me he loved me when he didn't even know much about me. He fulfilled his fatherly parent time. And I'm here you. Thank God I had that. And you're right, I am grateful. I am. I really, really am. I am. But when I understood more about my father, for me, was numerology, and just maybe numerology was still God talking to me in numbers. Sometimes God talks to you through a song or a quote or church or scripture. So I can't even say that numbers taught me, but I think that it was the language of numbers that helped me find the universe source, God, in this answer. And that's fair, is it not?
That is absolutely fair. And that's something that a lot of people are searching for. And as you said, some people hear the audible word of God. Some people, they get messages through other people. Mm-hmm. And the way that he speaks to us, it's different with everybody.
Yeah.
And through you, or for you, it's through numbers and numerology.
Mm-hmm. And I was able to understand that someone can love, but not have the ability to express it. And the ability to express something and love are two completely different things. And so my father lacked the ability to express himself, but he never lacked loving me. And I got to learn that after he died. That's closure. So when I do readings for people, then I'm able to find your dad. I think in some ways you find you. I tell people that our self-worth always exists underneath a pile of bullshit. And I think about like scratch cards. Lottery scratch cards. My grandmother used to do Nanny a favor. She's holding a cigarette out the window of her two-tone view. Go inside my Lucky Charms. Get Nanny a lottery ticket. We're going to win this time, she would say. Ashes everywhere. Oh, you're so good. I felt so independent with my money, like shopping by myself. She'd scratch it off. Did I choose what was underneath the scratch? Or did I create an opportunity for my grandmother to scratch what was always there?
You gave her the opportunity to scratch what was already there and reveal it.
And so when we ask ourselves what the hell happened to us and why, it was to help us see ourselves through what it is that we're able to do. So when we go back to push ourselves to failure, we don't know ourselves until we know what we can actually do. And so we're going to have to scratch through it. We're going to have to dig for it. We're going to find ourselves all over again. It's the best hide and go seek. Because then we come back to self, which is all I ever do. My business is called Dani Lama. Sounds like Dalai Lama.
I was just going to ask, so you're talking about finding people. How do we find you?
Yeah. So it's called Dani Lama because I asked, what should it be? Lama means why.
It means
why.
Why?
Is that not the question of life? Why are we here? Why did that happen to me? Why am I this way? Well, the why is actually the way. You cannot have true embodiment of an answer unless you've actually walked a mile in the shoes of it. So that is why trauma is necessary to learn love and to learn compassion and to learn bravery and loyalty. We learn freedom by not having it. So when we fight for our freedom, we understand what freedom is worth fighting for. And although I adore all of you, and I'd hug and kiss you all on the cheek if I could for what you do, understand that you truly wanted to understand the depth of freedom. And so I celebrate your journey in understanding the search for freedom comes from in here. The freedom to feel, the freedom to heal, the freedom to express ourselves, the freedom to believe in ourselves, and the freedom to know that I truly can surrender, because perspective is only in the journey, not in the answer.
Wow. Dani, this was absolutely amazing.
I was nervous, sorry.
I can sit here and I literally, we could go weeks. I can have you here and you can just keep deep diving this. But this is truly amazing. And I really want to give the people at home that opportunity to connect with you. So when you say Dani, it's Dani, Lama, Lama.
Yeah, not the animal, double L. Although they're super cute. Maybe we should have one.
And your platforms you're up on Facebook?
Yeah, just find me at Dani Lama, and I don't brush my hair, and there's only one of me. So I think you should try to find me. I don't think I should make it easy. I think those that want to find me should. My website is danilama.net. I mostly interact on social media as Dani Lama. I also have Dani Lama 3811 because I add up to 38. And 3 plus 8 is 11. So that's my soul's zip code.
3811.
3811.
It's very unique.
Kind of is. You don't really have a lot of them, but if you met me, you probably wouldn't know a lot of me anyways, and that's fine.
Well, thank you so much again for taking the time to stop by and educate us. I'm sure you're going to get plenty of people reaching out to you that just really want to know specifics.
Only if you want to.
Right. People are going to want to know about themselves. And I think that's awesome. We started talking about how most of us don't like to talk about ourselves. But if there was a way we can go and read about it, or we can really hear about ourselves, I think that's a very interesting thing. And when we get into that mind, body, soul alignment, right, it's what's going to really help us continue to move forward and walk this thing out.
Because if you're not moving, you're dying.
That's right.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Well, thank you again. And for everybody at home, I hope you guys got something out of this. Make sure you share it and like it, and cherish the day. Love you guys.